Good day and salutations, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Togetherwerole. Let's give a quick shout out to Cram Mill, RPG Elements, and JD Arts, as they are awesome people, and you should go check them out. We've said other names a lot, and I do not have enough words to say thank you. But I'll sub right now. Thank you. Apart from that, let's get to the intro because we got stuff to do. Good day, everyone.
It's still fun.
Ooh, and you might have jumped it too. Wow.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
You did it. You did great. You were right on time. And then you just face planted.
You know, it's my brand.
It is very much on brand for you. So I'll share with those of you at home. I realized that our quality of our sound and video recording equipment and our computer equipment has far outstripped the product, the talent of the product. So I was by a...
And by the way, the computer equipment and sound and everything is shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I went by a pawn shop the other day. We're going to film next episode on a Motorola Razr. To bring them back down to par with each other.
I'm
Are you ready for
that
640?
generation, so even
640?
I'm like, what?
640. 480. No, we're going 240.
All right.
We're going to stream over 300 baud.
Last time about the Silver Menagerie, you're currently handling a ballroom. With your own preferences on how to handle a ballroom, it was turning slightly deadly for some of you. Others, you were handling it like you've been here before.
And turned into a ballroom blitz.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we were discussing handling balls.
Well, there you go, yes.
Oh, yes.
in a room.
I have two more.
Yeah, especially cold rooms.
Speaking of which, I have two more fuzzy balls to deliver, but unfortunately, our DM is attempting to give us a recap.
On your way out,
Says the man who had a little giggle fit to himself before he could turn the intro on.
on your way out, a fellow servant of Niquis presented himself that had implanted himself in this ballroom, disguising himself with the pre-knowledge that this ballroom blitz, so to speak, these ballroom assassins were going to greet you, especially after your rather presumptuous introduction to those of the fort of the Raven Queen, because I don't know words. You were led to a safe house after taking but then returning several pastries. Scaring the shit out of some goblins, cook goblins. And now are in a current messy organized room of various intelligence-based webs, sleeping cots, corners, and various contraption hexes, booms, and chemical creations that are currently being utilized on various table fronts. You got, with all of you in here, it's actually generally roomy. Now, less roomy because of the amount of people that are in this room. That's maybe 15 by 15 in terms of like raw stats, with its slanted roof on one side. Arnat brings up one chair, places it near you, Niquis, and seems to have the only chair that is available in this place. as he just kind of stands, seemingly almost standing at an angle of where Nicholas is at all times. Before promptly moving and taking several places out and materials, placing them on the table before you, and begins speaking. This slender individual that steps with a grace only matched by Nicholas and Quinn.
What are the walls made out of?
Make an investigation check.
I look up.
You look up, you see a ceiling. Of course, it's a slanted roof, so
19.
19.
Nothing living there, nothing under tables.
We'll get to that in a moment. With a 19 investigation check of what looks to be stone, as you're inspecting it, and then you kind of press a little harder and it gives. And then it forms that.
So it's like a facade.
Oh no, did we just jump down a throat?
I think we're gonna
Well, we just jumped down a throat, didn't
some kind
we?
of extra dimensional space.
We just jumped down like it was like jumping down a throat. That's
Are
why
you
it was
more
so hard
beat
to
up
get through
than
the
me?
door.
There is a window on the slanted wall,
I'm
but it's covered up currently with
really? That's
various
what it says.
shutters.
Okay. Yeah, you're nowhere near more.
no. I'm realistically I only took 20 hit points of damage.
Hey, no metagaming.
I'm hurt.
I am well
Yes, but I
above-
wouldn't offer you the chair.
I am not. Well, I was looking at the walls because I was gonna hang my hammock.
After a few attempts there.
I'm borrowing his removable rods. My hammock is still hanging in the middle of the room,
Our
10
man
feet in the air.
stops a moment. Never. And then continues off what he's doing currently, before standing in front of, currently in a presenter view mainly for Nicholas, and begins speaking to the rest of you, realizing that's more people, forgetting that you are here most of the time. And then you remind them that you're here with whatever activities you do.
I'm trying to massage out my spark-shaped bruises, and he's trying to wipe off his Quinn-colored stains.
It's a paper wheel and mending that I'm using in my armor. It is always way too squeaky for how small it is.
Yes. Classic office of materials. Nicholas, make a...
Loading disc. Unseen servant. Lay on the disc. Rub. Perfect.
Nicholas, make an investigation check to see...
Coffee. Coffee.
Good. You're looking for...
Get me some coffee.
Yes.
So you're looking in hidden areas to see if there's anything living?
If you'll recall, things moved in the last room that we went into.
Yes.
I would just like to do a quick check.
Make an investigation check.
Wider.
Trying to.
19.
19? There... A couple things pop out immediately. One of the working tables that have various piece of what looks to be dark twisted purple stone / crystal. There is a glass topped almost like bowl. Like you take a glass top and you put it on top of something, and it has room on the inside to cover up whatever it is. But it's made of glass, so you're able to see inside of it. You see various what looks to be sprites, small humanoid figures that are maybe this tall, that have very sporadic, semi-taken care of insect wings that look to be very scrunched. Like their skin is heavily matted and clumped in areas, almost like a skinless cat, but in a humanoid face. And as soon as it makes eye contact with Nicholas, it just kind of shrinks back towards the farthest corner it can do, as all but one of them scooch away, as the one at the center just kind of on his knees, currently rocking his head around, just with just your passive understanding of what this is. This looks to be some sort of hobby make of a major miniaturized version of a certain type of process that you're very familiar with.
Are you trying to hint that it's a sorrow sworn?
One of the more rudimentary processes of making a SARS one, yes.
It's more like a sorrow intended.
Yeah, it's like a hobby. You know, you get those packets that are like make your own geode.
A morose.
It's kind of like that.
Roast sword.
The next thing that you notice that is
a fun
living is various jars that are on the shelves. One of them filled to the brim what looked to be oversized.
This is less about is it alive and more about is it going to kill me or attack us.
Oh, then no.
Okay.
But you do know that someone's in that bed covered with
Right.
blankets. Hasn't moved yet, but definitely has that someone under the cover vibes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good thing, because I would have probably gone and laid in the bed.
Crunch.
But there's somebody already in it. Should we try to stir Nicholas, the person in the bed? They haven't moved yet. We're like still doing all this talking. No?
I am just beginning with my speech.
Oh, all right. I'll shut up.
Greetings, allies of Nicholas. I am the supplicant of melancholy. You may call me Arnat. Arnett. Aranet. That was a mess up on me. Let's change here. My apologies.
Sup, Subby?
I have gathered several resources that will be provided to Nicholas first, then to the rest of you with her consent, since I was the one allocating them. I have gathered information on the movement on the Lord of Frost and the various accelerated dealings that he has been making. He brings out several papers and drawings. We've already met the bringer of dance. This one was to greet you as soon as you arrived, or knowing that you are here. Which is why I infiltrated them, so that I may meet my master once again. The rest of the agenda, and take notes of these titles. Guarantee you will most likely see them again. Especially since you are planning, well, Master is planning to go to the Hall of Memories. We'll get to the ballroom in a moment. The Master of Hats, the Master of Anger, Bringer of Dance, which is the one that you just bore witness to, the Nightmare King, the Frequent One, the Master of Grief, Singer of Strife, way down, Skewer of Remorse, the Two-Faced Act, Hands of Grace, Groomer of Delight, Jack of Strings, and lastly, Wielder of Nuts. Now each one has different,
Alright, real quick.
yes.
The very first master of
Hats.
Master of Hats.
hats. Okay.
Yeah.
Master of Hats, Master of Anger, Bringer of Dance, the Nightmare King, the Fragrant One.
The what one?
The Nightmare King.
Nightmare King,
The what one?
Fragrant One.
Fragrant. As in smelly.
Yeah, it'd be me.
Yes.
Right here.
Okay.
I'm present.
The Master of Grief, the Singer of Strife, the Skewer of Remorse, the Two-Faced Aunt.
Act. Like
Act.
acting.
Two-Faced Act. See, this is why we're going over them.
Yep.
The Hands of Grace, the
Groomer of Delight.
Groomer of Delight. So that's an O. Groomer of Delight, the Jack of Strings, and the Wielder of, and I didn't get the last one.
The Wielder of Night.
Ruler of Night.
Did you get the Skewer of Remorse?
Skewer of Remorse,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
You said Jack of Strings?
Strings.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sure there's more dealings in the work on how accelerated he is making these meetings.
So
Each one is different from the last, and the actual content of what each one is well, lacking in detail on my part. Though he is planning something big, something that he cannot do alone, something that he cannot succeed without great powers, with only information that I have been able to garnish, is that he is excited to show and play, or excuse me, wording, to have his newest pet play at the keep.
Mm.
And then this new tide of death came to us. Now, I do have additional good hope, but came with additional barbs of hidden truths in the mix. I made contact with the Singer of Strife, this shadow drink, and partaked in a bit of a game to see who was able to make his playthings, well, overwhelmed with joy. Who would most succeed? Of course, I succeeded, thanks to my master's training. She is very good, I assure you. Though this sought-after key to the personal chambers of the Lord of Bitter Frost was given to me, but as he places a shoebox down with 50 keys inside. Unfortunately, I was not able to figure out which one it is. It's in the process.
So you were given the key, but it was a box of keys.
A box of keys. That happens to contain one of them being the Lord of Bitter Frost's personal chambers.
Which
And
one?
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stay much longer as I had to get out.
Oh,
They were
I'm on it. Grab a box. Smooth the table.
As he's going to do that,
I'm on it.
Thing is, most
There's
people,
not even a table, and how are you sitting down?
It's on
I've got my
Tetris
my
floating
tip
disc.
floating disc.
So most magicians would be like casting runes or divination spells. Vedek's over there. No. No.
as soon as he finds the right.
Holding it to his forehead. No.
Ding. No.
So what are you doing exactly?
Okay. I am going to start with detect magic.
Okay. Roll a Arcana, please.
watch it be the one that's not magical.
I don't think legend lore is still a spell anymore.
It is.
Oh,
It
'cause
totally
that's
is.
exactly what this is for.
Yes.
21.
It's
21?
so situational.
There are currently 21 different magical items in there.
Okay. Well, let's just.
Spread out each one. Each key is different. Very, some of them very well made, immaculate in terms of its detail work. Others very crude, rudimentary. It looks like a piece of iron that was just curled into a twisting key fob thing, and it's everything in between.
You could discard anyone that's iron.
Can you?
Isn't he Fey?
Yeah, it's cold iron specifically.
Oh.
In 5e, iron and cold iron are like enchanted
Different things.
Yeah, two different things.
He's got a good point.
But
I can
iron-
just cast legend lore on the whole damn thing. Takes me 10 minutes.
Go for it. Took me a long time. 50 keys.
But will it affect all of them? That's the question.
I do it 10 minutes per key.
We'll be here next week.
At a 5th level spell. Yeah.
No, we cast it as a ritual.
It's not a ritual anymore.
Oh.
Oh.
Cost me the slot.
And describe a person in place of the object. And or object. So unfortunately, it would affect one key at a
It
time.
says object or objects.
Roll a d50.
Person, place, or object.
Right, you name or describe. So in this case, I don't know which one it is, but the thing that I am naming is,
Okay.
I am naming the key to the sanctuary of the Lord Bitterfrost, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and it tells me it tells me a shitload of information about it.
Give you a better description. Read them out a little bit.
Yeah, hold on.
You get the pixie to cast locate object. Put them on all sides of the room. Pixie sits in the middle.
Yeah, I'll give you a list of 5 keys. Oh,
We'll
nice.
put them in ASCII form so that way you can actually communicate.
The only thing that would bring up like
Hexadecimal.
concern if the thing you name isn't of legendary importance.
Someone else seen the Martian.
Know what? Roll a d100.
Wait, are we questioning if his private chambers are of legendary importance? He's literally bringing about destruction of multiple planes.
We don't want it to be legendary. If it's legendary importance, doesn't that mean the spell can fail?
Just roll a d100. There's multiple.
3!
3? That's under your spell. Depending on what you rolled and how far away your level is. Sorry, that's underneath your level. So, you're like, after you cast it, I mean, how would you like to cast it? Let me ask.
He nailed it. Look, I've got 10 minutes to go through a box of keys going,
That one's to the Jakes.
That's to somebody's chastity belt.
One of
And
them
at
he
the end of
pulls
10
out his
minutes, you're
book.
like, you bring up the last one. Found it. And with your passive, in passive
Is it gonna
arcana,
make the noise?
it's actually a twisted piece of cold iron.
It's a twisted piece of cold iron.
So good thing we didn't throw it in.
Don't give it to her.
No.
And it actually has a general, when you licked it, it like,
Which one of us are you giving it?
and it's,
Does it matter?
You got it.
Yes. Yes, it does.
and it's actually one of those crudely made
I'll put it on
pieces of keys.
Easy, if I put it on her.
Now,
Put it on
advance in
it was
terms of
spinning.
now what you think was like, oh, it's crudely made because it definitely has wear and tear on it. It has like of the 3 grooves that it has, it looks like it's been chipped in many areas. And then when you look closer, you're like, oh wait, hold on, and you're like, no, those are purposely made chipped areas.
It's custom faded.
You know what? This makes a lot of sense. Because see, if everyone knows that he doesn't want to actually have a key, that
With
he's gonna
Legend
hold
Lore
on to.
giving you the additional information, and I'll give you this on top of saying this is it. This is to his personal chambers. It's made out of cold iron, out of the willingness of hurting every time it's opened.
here, so let me take this.
I figured he
I
would
would
just.
shuffle the rest of the keys, slide them into the box, put the lid on the box, hand the box to Niquis. Go, keep this.
So add 49 random Shadowfell keys.
Hell yeah!
I'm just gonna put them on a ring and just try random.
Oh,
ones.
that's right. Why do you
But we
think
know
this
that
is so
20
fucking
21 of them are-
guys?
21 of them are magic.
Yes, they are. And the one that you picked up. Okay, this is where 5e lore kind of poops out. Technically, cold iron is enchanted in 5e terms, but cold iron is not enchanted in terms of actual lore.
Cold iron is it's unenchanted in 5th edition. It's just a material. It's like silver or mithril or adamantine. It's not actually enchanted.
5e added a lot of things. Last time I checked, it said technically it's enchanted, just in a different
Yeah, I
fashion.
thought they just put it under the magic items.
Yeah, but they also say that Mind Flayers is a arcane casting. I'm like, no.
No, it's psionic.
Yeah, it's psionic. They hate arcane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why it's one of those, well,
Alright, bunch of keys, and the right key.
and it's not the one enchanted, but it is cold iron.
We have the gate key.
What gate?
Do we have the
Is
key?
it-
Do we have,
It's just forged using a special process. It's not
Yes.
enchanted.
Oh,
are you
okay.
are you the key master?
You the gatekeeper?
I mean, I will be as soon as I get them all in a ring.
You take the gatecrasher prestige class?
Are now giving
So
you a
many
ring.
keys. So many keys that just they're all stuck together. And they
I
just
need the box
become
back.
one Key.
One.
One.
No. It's one of those key rings that overlaps like almost all the so you can like click it and spin it all the way around.
Even
That's
better.
how you know.
This is a Shadowfell. Everything's going to be tedious. Well, that is some good news then.
Whole
I see
ring.
why Nicholas
Both
keeps you
stand out.
around. Very skilled indeed.
This is going on.
Alright.
You continue to overstep regarding hospitality by
I am being hospitable.
you're being dismissive towards my guests and peers. Again.
He generally looks back towards himself. Like, if you ever see a person like trying to look into himself,
I do it every time someone says something really stupid at my gaming table.
it was not my intention.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm putting that on a piece of string that goes around my neck inside the armor. The key.
Oh, the key. Okay.
So I don't.
So
use
you
it.
you have the
I have the key.
you have the key.
Yes.
Understood?
So I do like the idea of putting on an arrow, so as long as it's spinning the right direction, it goes into the keyhole and unlocks.
Oh, see, I thought we would just take it, like, rub a magnet on it, see if we can stick it to sparks.
That would work.
Put little temperature
Once.
marks on it so you can rotate it.
The latest movements
Turn it on and on.
of the Lord of Bitterfrost is currently towards, and unfortunately, he seems to be knowing on where the latest movements are going to be. There is currently a celebration sponsored by the Lord of Bitterfrost that is going to be held by the Singler of Strife in the main ballroom chamber that has the staircase going straight towards the Hall of Memories. Now, hearing where you're going to, it seemed most likely connected. But he was making this weeks in advance, which is odd. Perhaps coincidental, although he does not strike me as a person to just do coincidental object. Or,
He's likely who has removed my memory. Don't nod knowingly, you dippy turtle.
sorry, what?
Nothing.
No.
Sorry, I just had a mental flashback. When we return back through the portal, we're gonna return moments after we left. So like, all,
So we think.
all
So-
yeah, so we've negotiated. I just had this brain head cannon of Vedic like arranging for him to arrive like 5 minutes actually before we left, and we get back and there's two Vedics there with their books open.
Just comparing notes. What?
The doctor here.
We do this all the time.
I just spit everywhere because I was trying not to laugh at that
Regardless,
one.
he removed your memories.
He likely is the one responsible for my memories being locked away, which is why he would know that I need to go to the Hall of Crystal Memory, which would be why he would be setting up a blockade.
All right.
Should make sense.
Very well.
This is why we
That
call
does.
her.
I mean, that would be yes. That would be very astute of him then.
I'm currently less concerned with the Y4s and the Where 2s and more concerned with the let's find this a-hole and turn his insides into his outsides.
Well, currently, the ballroom has already begun. The celebration. It's actually a celebration for
Oh,
the
yes.
coming.
We weren't in that
I
ballroom.
remember.
Well, yes, they shall be present at there too, since we did not fall the bringer of dance. The celebration is going to actually be for the bringer of change, the shift from the Feywilds to the Shadowfell, the great shift of everything shall begin, so to speak. Many believe that this latest coming of mass death will shift our powers to our favor. So, a celebration to be had to the no longer present Raven Queen, and perhaps to bring a positive vibe, if you ever believe that, at the Shadowfell. Remind me.
Is this the unseelie fae being piloted by a mind flayer, the dragon being possessed by a demon, or the mecha Tarask being piloted by an irate gnome?
Is there another option?
I'm sure there's 3 other world-ending calamities I'm forgetting.
Because they're all correct.
Perfect.
Oh, so you know what's happening on Material Plane? What's happening?
I've already clued him in on this.
Oh, never mind.
And I would not tell you even if she had.
Right, I'm not that stupid.
Well, let's provide you
I
with...
have 2 questions
Aye.
before he continues on. Because he said that the Lord of Bitterfrost was making dealings with both the Master of Anger and the Master of Grief,
Yes.
and that concerns me. I would like any details I could have on those dealings.
Well, based off of the timeline, the Master of Anger was first, far first, followed by the Master of Grief. I would say maybe 7th in line. Seemingly the last and most adamant against whatever deals that was being made. He was promptly rejected. The Master of Grief rejected the Lord of Bitterfrost, and then after the 3rd return, seemed to be cornered. Of some sorts.
Do you have no insight into what the agreement was?
Something involving the keepings of the Forsworn under his care. But I do not know under which pretext. They were very... At least the Lord of Bitterfrost was very adamant in keeping it closed-doored.
And that's true for both of them?
Actually, the Master of Anger was very angry. Well, I thought he's always angry. But he was very adamant in joining in whatever this deal was. Willing to put part whatever supplies that he had, fully sponsoring the Lord of Bitterfrost with armament, additional forces, and
Are
hence
your notes taken in character?
Sometimes.
Remember
This
the
one.
notebook?
the Master of Anger, with the only details that I get, though it's slowly starting to piece together with the additional information that was provided today, something of will be part of the great change, part of the coming shift of power,
So he's making a play for the Sealy crown?
possibly. It's currently vacant, especially with the Raven Queen gone. The ball light
Yeah.
disappears under your hat again.
Yeah. Into the hood.
Into the hood, yeah.
Into the
Anyway,
So,
so our apocalypses may be bringing a change between the two different courts. There's a celebration going on for it.
There is definitely a surge of power, of sorrow, of grin in the Shadowfell right now. If you were here when the first rush of death came to us all, you would not be any question.
You said you had insight into the Lord of Bitterfrost's movements. Does that include literally, like, where he might be?
He's currently heading towards the ballroom with, and he looks down for the paperwork with a companion. The Lady of Delicacy. Member of the Sealy Council. Apparently is making a power play, bringing a member of the Sealy Council down to our level.
Which member?
The Lady of Delicacy.
That I do not know. I'm not very informed with the Sealy Council.
Am I familiar with the Lady of Delicacy, given my time in the court?
Make a history check.
I need one for the Master of Hats. I've got the Earl of Pissy, the Lord of the Dance, the Pumpkin King, Captain Flatulo, Crybaby. I need one for the Master of Hats.
That's better.
no,
No, it's giving credit to.
yeah.
Sorry,
Modified 20.
modified 20.
Scalpy.
You don't know much about this one.
Caliber.
You don't know her specific ranking and where she stands. She is definitely an upper
Head
member.
less.
You never met her in person, but you have heard whispers about her. The Lady of Delight is an individual that is...
Delicacy or delight?
Delicacy. My apologies. The Lady of Delicacy is she's not exactly a nice person. Regardless if she's from the Feywild. She is a person of renowned beauty, of renowned, of etiquette, renowned food even.
Have you met any members of the Sealy Court? They all tell you they're renowned beauty, renowned etiquette.
Yes, but this one is one of the higher renown and stuff like that. But she's also very renowned in removing filth that does not meet to her standards of beauty. So having her being brought down to what many of the Sealy Council members would consider absolutely appalling, and have her part of a big celebration of the Shadowfell of the Unsealy Council, would be quite a strut of status on whoever was able to achieve that.
So saying that she's there as a companion, is it forceful? Like, did he kidnap her?
I do not believe it was kidnapping. It was more political maneuvering. Now, political kidnapping, maybe. Now, right out just like taking her and bringing her here, probably not.
I
do
think
not
she has to eat some pomegranate seeds.
What? Eurydice?
Your mythos is not applicable here.
Is it Eurydice?
Persephone.
Persephone. Eurydice is your daughter.
It's very possible that the Lady of Delicacy is gaining a seat of power during possibly a change. Maybe she's already making plans for the future. That's what I would think.
In order for things to move around, there must be a void.
Are you doing this subtly?
About as subtly as you see me doing it.
Okay.
By the way, I'm here for a minimum of a short rest. Just
No,
throwing that out.
by all means.
Is this guy staring at me as I'm doing this?
Nice.
Oh, and I did stack a few supplies for you. He takes over and brings down a giant jar of just beetle, roaches, and insects inside the jar.
Ooh.
Snacks.
Okay, are they
Mind your
magical or are
business.
they just bugs?
They're just bugs.
Okay.
Like material components.
I share the snackage
Yeah,
with these two.
wait. Ignore me. A roll persuasion.
Roll a disadvantage.
Okay. Well, my lowest one was a 14 on the dice, which makes it a 31.
He momentarily clenches his jaw.
You do not see the pixie.
This ball of light pixie. I will ignore you as adamantly as I can.
My reputation is already so low.
Yeah.
Look, a member of the Green Warden is carrying a pixie.
Yes.
I have more score than you.
You could be made out of cold iron and still have a higher score than me.
I just want her.
I mean, hey, a suit of cold iron would be really good in the thing.
Yeah.
It's like nothing here can touch you.
You become the boogeyman. Everyone would run from you.
Baba Yaga. Sparka Yaga.
You would also be the most wealthiest thing on the planet.
So,
Yeah, that's expensive as hell.
so, what's our, other than getting information here, what's our next move?
To do the thing we
I
came
think
here to
I-
do.
Oh, Lord God of Frost.
I
Destroy his
We're
heart.
going to a party.
And it
No.
was a party.
Didn't we just come from a party?
That was a dance.
We're pre-party.
That was a dance off.
Oh,
Pre-game?
oh, that
We're
was.
pre-game.
Pre-game.
That was a
Yes,
dance. That was a dance off, and you lost.
I just used every single one of my hit dice.
Wait.
I'm very close to the same boat.
My hammock is 10 feet off the ground.
I used every single one of my hit dice. I'm finally up to full health, but I used every single hit die I have.
Ladies.
You can feel free to rest here if you're so desire.
Just an hour. Just need an hour.
Well,
No.
does he have anything that can help me regain certain spellage?
Oh, actually, I'm gonna use second one as well.
What do you mean by that? Like,
I mean, like, it may be worth our while to wait here for 8 hours,
Hey.
given my remaining spell slots.
honestly,
Unless
and
he
you
has
have no, like, rush. The,
Well, I wouldn't mind getting healed up.
yeah.
Here, lick the inside of that couch.
I just dumped every single thing I had into my health. Except for 3 hit dice.
My
Do
smash
we have that kind of
time?
Yeah.
Because we're essentially in a time
Whatever it
stasis
touches
for all
leaves
the
purple.
apocalypse.
Oh, point.
Right, but we know he's headed to the ballroom. Do these people like?
Sorry, you like turn the
Oh,
couch
yeah,
down.
guys.
He'll gain renown. He's going to do that anyway. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be able to advance anything.
Well, he's also.
That's not what I'm getting at.
guarding
Like-
his heart.
Is he going to be there for 8 hours?
We're not confronting him directly.
We're going for his heart,
His heart is kept in a separate room.
like David Jones.
Right. Okay, never mind.
Inside the crystal fortress.
But we're going to the Hall of Memories first.
We have to go to the Hall of Crystal Memories because that's where we're going to unlock where the fuck his bedroom is, because that's not on a directory. It's in my brain. And once we get that unlocked, we're going to use the key that's around your neck to unlock the door, and then we're going to stabulate the fuck out of his heart, and then I'll probably go murder him for good
And
measure.
then swallow the spider to catch the fly.
And then shoot him with a cold iron bullet.
Sure.
Move this heart.
Alright.
1 hour, then advance.
No, it needs to be.
So,
it needs to 8
do we
hours.
want this to be a short rest or a long rest?
Short.
Because that's a big deal. And it can be a short rest. But I personally am hard up.
But if we
in
make
terms of
what
magic.
what are the risks of us staying longer for 8? Shouldn't be much, right?
When is this ball supposed to take place?
Now.
It's already taken place.
Oh.
It's been happening for the past week.
Oh, yeah. But it's a unsealy ball, so it's a
What
rebel.
he's
Oh,
doing
yeah.
right now is he's gaining something that's going to translate into reputation bonuses. I don't know how to phrase
And
that
most
right.
likely make other behind the scene deals.
Yeah.
So
That's
this is
that's
the
what
moment
gods do. They create. They get.
people worshippers.
Yes. That's
No,
essentially. Kind
He's a
You're
one.
saying
Sure.
that he's attempting to ascend.
I don't know. I'm
Oh,
stupid.
don't listen to him.
I don't have to listen to you.
So this is that moment where we get to decide whether we're going to attempt some kind of politicking and infiltrate a ball, or we're going to do what we originally set out to do.
I do have a back door to the ball if you so desire.
Save that for Plan H. Hopefully we don't get that far, because you
Well-
die in Plan G.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe it.
With all respects, are you planning just to kick in the front door? No, I would love to bring some snacks along for the ride, but
I mean, that's kind of what we do.
When we sneak, things still explode.
it is
Yeah.
an entire celebration of many powerful unseated council members.
It is not our intention to take him on during the rebel. We need
No.
to go to destroy his heart.
So we can have. But we need to find the memory to figure out how to do that.
Okay, so the are you going to kick down the door question, the answer is no.
Noted.
Thank you.
Not yet.
No, to Nicholas, not you.
Did we ever kick down the door?
Right.
I mean,
Most
we
of the
likely
time.
Eventually.
Sometimes we kick down the door after we've successfully unlocked it and disarmed all the traps. Why still kick it down?
Yes, absolutely.
what I strongly suspect is going to happen is we're going
We're gonna try a plan. It's gonna go to hell. We're gonna end up kicking the door in anyway. Yeah, me too.
I suspect we're going to destroy his heart, go to the ball, get ourselves in trouble, kicking down the door, so that way I can murder the asshat in front of everybody.
I like this
I
plan.
like it. Let's do it.
Especially like the part where you murder someone.
We help.
You don't have to.
I want to. I bought a bullet specifically for
What
him.
about that little special
You can shoot whoever you
shadow
want.
stabby stick? Is that any
One
useful?
one
against
challenge is kicking the
unseeing
door
people?
down with all those people.
The sword you were trying to offer to her.
Oh no, that was just me pledging my allegiance back to
Oh.
my master.
Is he mentioned about all the other powerful people? So, although it would be wonderful to kill him in front of all those other
If
people.
I murder the Lord of Bitterfrost, I become the most powerful person in the room. What don't you understand?
those people will keep
Oh,
want to keep you from being the most powerful.
that.
Does that count for anybody? Can we race for this?
Kill steal!
So all that
And
does
there's
is
the
make
image.
you visible. You don't have to
And-
write allegiances to want that kind of attention.
No, I really don't want that kind of attention. No, I
And
don't.
there's
I just
the,
imagine the pixie on your shoulder. How is my?
Pixie kill steals.
Like I shoot the arrow that's gonna be the death blow. The pixie like is right.
Pixie's on the front of it.
This little tiny dagger.
Gets the kill, suddenly explodes from that coalesced Fey energy being targeted at it.
Arises some twisted abomination. Oh shit!
This is your fault.
and then
I get familiar.
And
Well,
I'm
then,
sorry.
Calamity 7.
and in some strange universe that I'm sure you've foreseen there, Vedic, is where I'm being crowned.
Right.
I would not let that happen. I must be dead.
You know, that's after Plan 8. Drop this.
That's because I die in G.
Yes.
He dies in J.
All jokes aside, I love the banter here. How are we going to find the bedchambers?
All crystal memory.
Which is behind the ballroom.
Which
So to
behind
sneak
the
through the ballroom.
We have to sneak through the ballroom.
I'm going to need help with that.
Well, I call it ballroom, but it's the party chambers.
We'll have to move through
it's
the party
like-
unless there's another way around.
I have a back entrance, though it will be difficult.
Everyone has to
I'm
back.
difficult.
I don't. I'm just gonna explode when I'm 50.
I said it.
Yes, because I was thinking it's so loud it had to come out of somebody.
Group as a collective.
That's why there's a back entrance.
The name of the episode.
The back entrance.
In through the outdoor. Oh, demonetized.
Not time to begin with.
I like to imagine.
Backdoor entry. Here we go.
At some point in the future, we're going to get like sponsorship that's going to like retroactively go back and monetize all our old videos in case we get those looky-loos going back to see how we got to where we're at. And it's just like every single video is going to summarily get demonetized as reviewed.
You can call it backdoor prep.
All right, back off to.
No.
Oh,
It's
you know-
grease turtles and back entrances.
See, ladies and gentlemen, you just can't make this shit up. It happens. You just can't make it up.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Print it. I'll make t-shirts.
Greased up turtles and back in.
Grease up the turtle. We're going to the back door.
That's an inside joke.
Yes.
Come on.
you, Mr. Fayman, you probably wouldn't realize that we're not even drinking right now, and yet it's the only humor in the world we can find is to laugh about things that might not happen.
Just like a solid 3 seconds.
Because he doesn't have to listen to you.
And there's like a curl.
So, Hall of Crystal Memory?
We have to get through the ballroom.
All right.
How do we get through the ballroom?
Through the back entrance.
Okay, if we're going sneaking, I need help.
They're circling around.
If we're going sneaking, I need help. But we all need help. I think we all need help.
Okay. To
Do we-
sneak, we do not have to stealth.
Okay.
we could act or talk our way through it.
You could act like a robot.
I can do that. I think.
Honestly,
Yes.
if we send him through the front door, they're pointed to Sparks. He'll be an excellent distraction. They're looking for all sorts of entertainment. Now, will he survive? That's up to how sturdy you are. Based off the performance before, I think you'll be good for
I don't
3
think-
I'll
days,
talk.
4 days maybe.
I follow her.
So do I.
No offense. This is her game. So far, everything that she has said has kept me alive. I'm kind of obligated to follow her
By
lead.
all means.
Well,
What were you saying?
I say I'll talk, you march. If we're gonna talk our way through it, that's
This is
Well-
fine, I can do that.
What I'm thinking is I court, you minstrel.
okay.
Like you can be the and not minstrel, the
Harold.
that, yes.
Guard.
Automaton guard
Major
No
Domo.
worries. in a backpack.
Has had silence cast on the inside of it.
Now, hold on. Are we talking about Penguins of Madagascar backpack, or are we talking about, like, just in a backpack?
I'm talking about we stick him in one
I
of
have
his
plenty
packs.
of packs. I
And
have plenty
I
of
put a
packs.
leash on X so X can pretend to be a captured entity.
A pet.
Yes.
Well, I haven't walked on all fours.
Pet turtle, quiet in a bag.
I don't like this plan anymore.
You don't have to like it to make it work.
But you could be master at Bartertown.
My
I like
embargo.
this plan a little more.
And for my next magic trick, I will run my sword through this backpack.
And it will magically produce blood.
Ooh. Ah.
In you go. Right here.
Hate this plan. I want you to know this is only an approval. Oh, could you pick me?
Okay, we're good.
No, we're gonna. You're in the bag. We put a nice little blanket over you to parakeet you and make you go to sleep.
9-year-old wizard or 900-year-old wizard.
Sure you are. That's right. Here's a little binky. Sure you are.
No, if he says that in ballroom,
So keep it quiet.
Did that too.
Bottle of scotch, bag of bugs. You'll be fine.
if you need assistance with materials, I have materials here. And he starts placing things on the table of various magical items, trinkets, spoons, and stuff like that of the origins. So he'll start playing out. As soon as you put your hand out, he slaps your hand. Nicholas first.
Okay, Sparky.
Hey, that's my name.
Alright.
So he, so the first thing he puts down is a very small little charm carved out of wood and stamped with metal of what looks to be a raven's wing pendant, like thing. And he basically explains it. It's essentially boots of Valentine, just as a necklace form. The next thing he puts down is what looks to be 2 fine silver bracers.
I've already got bracers.
That have very shiny bits of webbing that go across the entire bracer arm. These are bracers of spider climb.
Yo.
Useful.
Can I put them on my shins?
Oh, that would chafe.
Well, I'm skinny.
Yeah. The next thing he puts down is a long pipe, as if you put a cigarette at the end of it, like 1980s, so that you can smoke from it. And essentially, it's an ever-smoking bottle, but in a cigarette form.
I already have one.
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
it, yeah.
That's the exact thing.
And then he has classic fingerless gloves, leather gloves that are gloves of missile snaring.
We already got rid of a set of those.
Gloves of missile snaring. And
Puts down several potions, 2 of them being potions of greater healing. And when you're shaking them around there, it looks like various different amber-based liquids that make these stretched out faces when you look into it.
That's unsettling.
So something different.
Followed by one that looks like it's shrinking and then expanding, shrinking and expanding, shrinking and expanding. Potion of
Reduced person.
essentially diminution. Diminution. It's
Diminution.
Diminution.
thank you. Yes.
Munition. Wow.
Yeah. Followed by another one that looks like the glass is always like
Like it's
rattling.
gonna break open.
Yeah, it's like about to
potion
break open.
large.
Potion of growth.
Yeah, the apothecary tried
Two
to
ropes down.
sell me one of those when I had a date and didn't go well.
One of these, and it looks to be made of fine spider silk, both of them, is a rope of entanglement, and one of them is a rope of climbing. Good luck finding which.
I want none of it, so have at it, y'all.
I'll take the brooch.
Which potion?
Followed by a potion of cold resistance.
Which potion? Okay, be very careful which potions you grab and which bag they go into. I will not make it out.
Give him the potion of diminution. He's now this big. The pixie can carry him.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
No.
Just a pocket.
Just like a demented gremlin, the kobold comes out, grabs the potions, goes back into the bag.
I think
No,
it'd
shrink it
be
in
wise to
pocket
have. Which is
But as you know, my pocket can cast Meteor Sword.
question.
I have a tiny.
And then the last two items, a potion that looks
There's a tiny name in my pocket.
almost that strange, smoky-like etherealness being infinitely pulled outwards. That always generates up to the seal of the cork that constantly spins and then dissipates at the top, slowly spilling out of the bottle forever. This one he specifically hands towards you. Potion of mind control. Humanoids, specifically.
Was that brooch a cloak of Elvenkind or boots of Elvenkind?
Technically, well, it's a
Oh.
necklace of Elric.
Okay.
So it does the same thing as both of them.
oh, both.
Well,
They do two different things.
only the boots version.
Okay.
But the cloak of Elric, I think it only does the same thing as
No,
boots.
cloak is more of camouflage, and then the boots are silence.
Yeah,
So which one is?
it's the boots.
Okay.
Yeah,
So boots in necklace form.
boots in necklace form. Yeah,
Yeah, it's advantage.
it is specifically.
Why are we not giving that to
Charm of
either Spark or
Elvenkind.
Eck?
Hi.
I already have a pair
I
of
don't-
boots. Do you want a pair of boots or a necklace?
Oh, I'm attuned out.
I have
It's
a pair of
actually
boots
a
already.
rare item because technically
It doesn't have a attunement.
it doesn't have attunement and it doesn't have to be wearing his shoes. You can still have regular boots on and have that at the same time.
Oh shit.
Or other magical boots.
I'm wearing.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean-
wearing a pair.
So
of
it's actually a
boots
rare
right now.
form of.
Since it does need attunement, you go ahead and take it. But when we're out in the wilds and I'm doing my scouting, I'll take that back.
Absolutely. Considering we don't need to attune to it, yes.
Yeah. Because I will vanish like a
Yeah,
fart
that's
in the
why it's
wind
so
with those
handy.
on.
The
And then this one is more of a fun item as he just points it towards Eck. Make a wisdom saving throw.
no.
Want smiles.
7.
7. Even though you have a total face of just not many cheeks in terms of like animating your face, you immediately just make the deepest, just angriest scowl on your face.
Don't know if that'll work for me.
7.
A wand of scowls. More of a fun item. Places on the table.
Give it to her. She's scowling at it all the time anyways.
The potion of enlarged
How long does this thing last?
Roll 1d4.
Hours.
Days.
God.
Weeks.
One.
Months.
1 day.
Are
Wow.
you fucking kidding me? I got no talk like this.
Okay, well,
What? Ow, this is gonna hurt.
It's a DC 10, but if you fail.
Oh. Yep.
Alright, so bracers or spider climb, boots, necklace of Elvenkind,
Mhm.
2 potions of greater healing, a potion of enlarge, a potion of reduce, a rope of climbing, a rope of entanglement. There were some other.
Potion of
I realized no one that was writing this stuff.
Potion of cold resistance.
Okay.
Gloves of thievery.
No.
Do those require attunement?
I don't think so, but you do have to put them on.
Well, I don't have gloves currently, so.
Potion of mind control.
Which to you, correct?
Yeah, he gave it to me, but since I can kind of do that with my brain, does anybody else?
Now, if you drink it, do you get mind controlled? Do you like? Do you
If it's oil, you throw it at someone.
You drink it. Well, sorry. This one specifically, if you have the person drink it,
So it's like a poison. Yeah.
it's like a poison version.
Cool.
And whoever they're looking at is control. They control them.
So like you're like, here's a drink for it.
It's kind of like a love potion, but mind. It's like
Okay.
dominate.
First person they see after they drink it. Got it. Was that all of it? There was one or two more.
Box of
That
mystery keys, which is 49 left.
So wait, that works different from
49
the.
keys in the box. 49 keys in the box. Take one down.
Say again how that works, because that's different than what I'm reading.
Oh, and there's probably one in there anyway. Yeah. So the person drinks it, and whoever they're looking at, that person controls the humanoid that drank it.
Alright, well, I'm sure as fuck not giving it to most of the party.
I'll take the reduce.
But it is a dominate level
to get big again.
event.
Right.
Drink me.
So that means that do they still have to make a saving throw?
Probably.
No.
Ooh,
They
shit.
don't have to make a saving throw.
No.
Wow.
No save.
The save
Gotta
that they
get 'em to drink
the
it,
save
though.
that they do would depict on how many days they are controlled.
Okay, and then what about the immune to charm thing?
If they're immune to charm, unfortunately, it has no.
Okay, cool. You can have this potion also. 'Cause
Okay.
it's basically just a more complicated version of what I already do.
It's good to have options.
I'll take the rope of climbing. Does someone want the rope of entanglement?
You have to
Which one's
figure out
which?
which one's which, right?
Give it to me.
It's command.
Identify.
There's the command word.
I've got goggles to identify. I can just.
Yeah.
Probably be better for me to wear that necklace. And you
10 minutes later, you find the rope entanglement full of the rope of climbing.
Because I have a good enough stealth check, but giving you
They're
guys
intentionally
advantage-
designed to have both on you at the same time, so that if someone tries to pocket it, it might get tangled.
Carry an entire rope on the off chance someone's going to pick the wrong one.
If you have a backpack full of stuff, yes.
You have a backpack full of stuff.
Wait. Rope of entanglement and rope of climbing. Like you tie the two ends of them together. You make the rope of climbing like go to a person, and the other rope wraps them around. I'm liking this combo. Like I think I'm on the edge of the enemy camp, like just holding in a rope. What are you doing? Oh, I got this. And it's like all of them get tied together around the campfire.
You just pull them out.
One at a time.
Bandit fishing.
They call it noodling.
Oh, okay.
All right, we've divvied up loot.
Okay. Well, who wants the rope of entanglement? Because I was going to take the rope of climbing.
Give
I
it
will
to him.
I will take the entangling.
Cool.
Entangling.
You took the questions?
Rubber
Followed by
Still
a
mostly
small
out there.
chest that's placed in front of Nicholas.
Okay.
Unlocks it, opens it up
Okay.
with 1,000 platinum on it.
You would need potions.
That was
of
in
healing.
platinum?
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Which is
They've
better,
been busy.
superior or greater?
Superior.
Then I'm good.
I, open up
Potions
my
of healing.
bag that has like 500 platinum and
Oh
I
my!
So I would give
dump
you
it in.
You've been busy too.
Yes.
Take one.
No.
Take one.
Okay.
All right, y'all. I'm back in money.
Do you need a potion of greater healing?
I've got one.
We'll take another.
Okay.
No one else needs them.
Where did that page?
So have we agreed that we're going to stay here for a full rest?
For
All
a
right.
long
I
rest.
have 1 superior and 3 greater. I really don't need another one.
Yeah, I've got 3 greater myself. So
I've got 2 superior, 2 greater.
Arnett is currently holding up the baby Charles of the Blink Duck.
I have 1 superior and 3 greater.
I mean, he should be a toddler at this point.
Yeah, still, yeah,
the
a
rest is
toddler.
doing pretty good on
What
it.
are you? How many kids?
I did not
Go,
did-
come on, you can tell.
Use them. Use my good berries.
Oh yeah, I do need to update this.
All right.
And that.
Who is more likely to need to either take or administer?
Oh, just give them to me.
Okay.
Worst comes to worst, you can fly around.
He took one, you have another one. So, greater healing. Cool. There's still a potion of cold resistance. If anyone wants it.
I'll take it.
Bracers of spider climb. I already have bracers of archery. I'm not giving them
I
up.
can jump.
I really feel like I'm good on the
It'd be-
cold resist personally.
Yeah.
Do the bracers require attunement?
Spider climb?
Yeah.
Let's double check.
If they
I
don't,
think it does.
If they don't, I think
it
it'd be
does.
fucking cool if I were to be able to do that shit.
It's just a turn. Like, here's the problem, though. You would climb up the wall, climb to the ceiling, and you'd still be at eye level.
Oh, fucking, yeah.
I could jump. It'll be fine.
Why is there...
I took the gloves of thievery, so I'll need to know what the heck those do.
They count as toolkits. As
okay.
thieves' tools.
No, these tools give you advantage with like thievery-based things. I'll read it.
This is something different.
Who needs cold resistance?
No one.
You
We all
do.
have clothing medication. You do.
More often than not, me. I feel like I just took most of that stuff. But
That's fine. You were the one
I
that
think
did
that
all
makes it so much better that he was like, no, not for you, her first, and then we're like, no, just take all of it. I mean,
Well, and then one of the parties, like, I was gonna reach for the end of it with my dagger in my hand. We went to smack my hand. Ha ha! Bitch!
Ow!
Another one.
Alright, these gloves are invisible while worn. While wearing them, you gain a +5 bonus to dex-based sleight of hand checks and dexterity checks made to pick locks.
Okay.
Literally magic gloves.
And what about the,
I'll give you guys the magical cards when I make them.
yeah,
And then for the
spider climb.
spider climb, yeah.
Gloves of spider climbing.
Would I be considered proficient? Do I have to be proficient with these tools?
It requires attunement. While these, light
wanna-
shoes, these are armbands instead. You can move up and down and across vertical surfaces and upside down along ceilings while leaving your hands free. Same thing, even though it's just this.
Oh, I'll take them.
You have a climbing speed equal to your walking speed. However, the slippers don't allow you to move this way on a slippery
just gonna
surface,
kill up the wall.
such as one covered by ice or oil. So, it's the same thing, but they're not
Slot, right?
slippers. They're
I'm full.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'll take them.
That's what I'm saying.
I have an item I can.
I both love
Probably.
and hate the attunement thing in 5e because the reason I hate it is it's so kind of arbitrary. It's not always the most powerful stuff that
No.
needs attunement. It's just like this one does, this one doesn't. This one does, this one doesn't. It's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the types of hunting require attunement. Like,
Instruments of the bards require attunement.
yeah.
That would sort of make sense. You gotta talk to it, booze it up a little.
It's an instrument. You pick it up, you play it.
generally, if you're casting spells from whatever item that you have, you have to attune to it in order to
To avoid you using all your stuff and then handing it to somebody else.
I personally think if it's something that requires you to have proficiency to use it, it shouldn't require attunement after the fact.
The other option is the I understand the concept of attunement, but I would have, like at my own table, I would do it like, okay, you just found this item. I don't care that you identified it. I played Pathfinder, so you see this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you found this item. Here's what you know it does. And the longer you carry it, the more of its powers you can unlock as you attune to it. But I'm not going to count how many things you attune.
On tonight's episode of D&D Talks, we'll be talking more about attunement slots tonight.
All right, so we took a long rest. Let's move on.
Oh, no, this was... Okay, sorry. Okay, you're taking a long rest now.
Short rest.
Sure.
No, long rest.
Long rest.
Long
Yes.
rest. We need spell slots. I realize that your stuff is all just like, haha, I'm good. And the rest of us are like, no.
Like, all I got back were face steps.
Okay, long rest.
I got back Bardic Inspiration.
Long rest.
I got my spell slots, but
We don't rest. Pardon me. She don't rest. We get fucked up.
Well,
If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
I refuse to be a mother in this crowd.
As you guys bed down at this safe house and begin to take a long rest, is there anything you guys would like to do during the nightly routines that is apart from resting?
I kind of want to see if I can check in with my patron buddy
Okay.
to see if there's anything in the go kill this particular person and I'll give you a power-up vein. Because he gets real excited about me killing certain things.
Certain powerful things.
Yeah.
You tell him you're gonna go kill things, he gets real excited, go home and touch himself.
Aww.
Why? It was wholesome.
Okay.
Okay, before we start our rest, I have one additional spell slot, and I
Okay.
will let you figure out, let you work it out, but I want to Legend Lore the Lady of Delicacy.
The Lady of Delicacy. Very well. We'll get that in a moment because she asked first. Nicholas, roll a charisma saving throw.
Roll a stare at my wrist saving throw. Got it.
Yep.
So it's a saving throw, which means that that's. Why do I have the? I mean, I'm not going to question it, but that becomes a 28.
Because you're as a sorcerer, you have proficiency with saving throws with charisma, right?
Is that what that is?
Yes,
Okay.
because you're
It's
also
like me
a
and
sorcerer.
saves.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I was
the-
like,
it-
why is that a 12? But
This
never
is
mind.
to retain how much information as you get. As you do feel something
Like that.
overtake your senses. First, the
You know, I'm sitting there staring at my watch, and all of a sudden it's a giant blinking eyeball.
like finding Nemo with the
Great head.
You've got mail!
and with a final flick, 1, 2, 3, the eye almost overtakes your entire senses, and you suddenly you're in this dark sea of abyss black,
Yep.
Feels like
and
It's actually a little creepy for me.
you feel
First
the
place
sense
we found the
of
dust at.
familiar dread, excitement of emotions, and then rush of various fragments of memories that are turned into language. Your memories, specifically. A lot of them you remember, a lot of them you don't. Different faces, different people that you enjoyed company, but yet you do not, or at least you got that feeling. But you don't recognize the flashes of images, locations, homes, locations, family. What do you call these family? Other enemies of hatred, betrayal, of the Lord a bit of frost. And generally these emotions turn into the Lord of Bitter Frost. The Lord of Bitter Frost. Lord of Bitter Frost. With that same thing of vibration of excitement, seemingly measuring out the distance, how long this entity has been alive. Before you're shoved back.
I look vaguely queasy, kind of nod, and lay down.
Vedic. As you finish casting this, how would you like to cast this spell?
Well, I can't exactly lick her hold over my.
You make a voodoo doll of her and lick the doll.
What are you doing? Nothing.
she's sitting so
Somewhere in the volume, you just hear.
No, the old-fashioned way. I don't,
I thought we could both work.
So much of it. So what I've done is what I do as far as is just for the plebes. When I actually want something, the book.
Flames? No. It's on fire. No.
Flames of the damned.
Pages after pages after pages before it generally settles on begins rolling with text. Scrolling down.
Scrolling it.
Various ads. Need a new cane today? Come over.
No, I don't.
Have you heard about our special wizards?
Scale polishing.
And large, it's not just for combat anymore.
That's the next page over
Scale polishing.
in the dark pages. Anyway, the Lady of Delicacy, and I'm going to read the spell one more time. to make sure I am not giving the wrong information like I did last time.
Okay.
Hey, wow, later! Apparently one of the apps just did one of those, hey, since you just used my app, would you like to rate us on this? Like, no, piss off. Legend lore. Name or describe a person, place, or object. The soap brings you to the mind a brief summary. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Wonder if the Archfey, the Lady of Delicacy, well renowned in the Sealy Court of the Feywild. Stories of her name travel even to the time of the gods of its second rule on the material plane. She has been there, once sat upon the crown of the Sealy Council, said to step down out of mourning. The mourning of failing to uphold her standards upon herself. She started anew at the very base of the Sealy Council all the way to the top. With her accession of being second in line of the current successor of the Sealy Council. That is all you get right now.
Good enough. All right, long rest.
Vedic, Nikwas, make a perception, since you were the last ones to go to sleep.
I don't sleep.
Make a perception.
24.
I'm going to
24?
help.
I'm in my hammock. Even though I'm probably not getting much sleep, I'm engrossed in like my 8th cup of coffee.
Wow.
Not twitching.
Calms my nerves.
23.
23.
3.
3? Yeah. You're awake. Yeah, you're definitely awake. Your chest hurts. Your lower body and legs start hurting.
Yeah, sorry I dented you when you fell on me.
And there's a moment, and you're like, as something wells up your upper torso, and you go inside your helmet.
Yeah.
It's just black tar. And when it splats on the floor, it makes that splat, but there's a harder nugget at the center. And it looks to be like black, crystallized rock on the inside. That has a slight transparency to it.
What the hell did I just spit out?
You feel
spit?
exhausted.
What's your battery? You're running on fumes.
Oh, shit. I haven't refilled it forever.
There's a
While that is happening, yes, you
There's
see
a
that.
message inside there. We've been trying to reach you about
You also notice.
All those people have been trying to reach you for your extended warranty.
Check the fuel cells. Check the fuel.
You can't really check the fuel, but the area that you normally have in order to open up and place more fuel cells inside, there's only round nipples.
Warforged have their nipples.
Wait. Are Warforged nipples not usually round?
They come in all sorts of different sizes.
It's a grease nipple.
Make a intelligence check. And we'll get to your perception check in a moment.
Your intelligence?
Yeah.
15.
15? You're looking at the fuel cells that you have, and you're like looking at the top of the connector bit, and you're looking at the size of the nipple on the side of your chassis. And as soon as you, there's like, as the whole pack is just emptied inside of you. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Shit, now he's overcharging.
You're full.
It's gonna like a butane lighter start spitting out.
So that's a 32.
32. It gets about halfway, starts to slow down. A good solid 30 seconds later, it fits in entirely. And then about 15 minutes later, you're like lightheaded.
I can taste colors.
And you're like, you don't want to move right now.
Overcharged. Good thing I'm asleep.
I'm just looking at the crystal.
Don't feed it after midnight.
Oh, you had a baby.
What?
No.
It came out of a warforged. I don't know what it is.
Over the course of the next hour or so, as the rest of the Twi'lek stuff just gently falls off, this now slick crystal, it starts to seep almost like black fog. Just endlessly.
Can I get an identifier on this thing?
Well,
Oh,
it's a
no
kidney
one else
stone.
here
But
beside
since you don't
me.
have a urethra, it had to come out the other hand.
Vedek.
My problems
And
are
Nichols.
gone.
Before you fell asleep, Vedek, and after you come out of your trance of 4 hours, for a long rest for you, you notice on every single individual here a impossibly thin, glittering line extending from parts of their heads that all seem to collide to a central focal point somewhere above in the ceiling area, including yourself.
You said they're coalescing with like an orb, or
Coalescing like as if they're starting to tingle before going into the roof and disappearing from sight, because it goes into solid matter.
I have a bad feeling about this.
is it familiar?
Roll Arcana. It's definitely not familiar in terms of like normal face shit.
That's an 11.
You have no idea.
I was asking from the perspective of normal face shit.
Yeah,
So that was
it's like,
appropriate.
I mean, unless something's going on with the Raven Queen herself in terms of like threads of fate.
Okay.
22.
22. You and I just imagine you like see connected to you and connecting somewhere in the back of the head. You just kind of. It's definitely an arcane.
Huh?
So, when you're like lost.
And as soon as you're starting flossing, you're like feeling your skull rattle.
And then he's like,
These are definitely like almost arcane tethers to the equivalent of like an astral protection.
Okay.
Astral. That's you.
Probably connecting
why are you gonna call him that? He's been nice.
or possibly
an
connected to your
overstatement.
actual bodies.
As in, these are not our actual bodies?
These are projections of us in Shadowfell. Look,
With a 22, that's all you get.
Alright.
Are you going to share any of this? Because I'm just watching you floss.
You see this too, right?
The bug sticking off.
I
the
know,
thing?
it's horrible.
Yes.
Alright, I really got to do this more. So,
Make a Constitution saving throw as you flip it.
Like plus 12. That's a 30 something.
30 something. You feel your like whole body like jitter and like, but it's like an exhilaration jitter. Woohoo!
These are fun. We should probably not let these get damaged.
Okay.
Or maybe they're attached and shouldn't be? I mean, like, what happens if I just give a little tug on it?
I don't know. What happens when I just rip your spine?
Can someone who can do an eyebrow quirk do that for me? Because that's Nick was hard, right? Yeah, that.
Now,
that is the look on
Are you
Nick
doing this on
face.
the? Are you doing this on my back?
Still 30s.
Are you?
You're tugging it pretty good, and it just says tingulation, but it's like
Your butthole is puckering.
Are you doing this in the
But
backpack
it's
while
right
you're
at the
on my
base
back?
of
No. I'm actually around in a backpack. We're all
Okay, yeah.
sleeping and resting.
But the exhilaration now vibrates from the like the base connection between the skull and the spine,
Okay.
and you're like, ooh, and it's
I
almost
don't think these
addictive.
are. I don't think these are coming off.
Good?
I can try.
Bad?
Now, did you like really pull it?
No. Just,
Okay.
you know.
Like when you pull your own,
Pull it the other way.
like that.
Instead of pulling it
It's
back,
never as much
pull
fun
top
when you
down.
play your
Can I pull
It's
that?
never
Can I
as
pull
much fun
down?
when you play
Oh,
your
from like up there.
Uh-huh.
And as soon as you start pulling, make a general dex check.
That I don't
You're gonna pull to a certain point and it's gonna suck you back up.
Do you still
15.
15.
You start climbing it.
As you begin pulling, it is tangled with the rest of all others around you at the central mass, and the whole thing starts to shift down.
Sorry.
But with your dex, you start pulling it in a way that doesn't bind up with the rest of the strings, so to speak, that are very hard to see. And even though when you pull it down so that you can see the rest of the mass continue onward, after about a foot where it collides, it just kind of disappears.
That's totally what this is.
And then it stops pulling after about 20 feet of pulling, and you're like, it's tugging on something,
Right.
even though it's not tugging on the mass.
Two things. Does Aeronaut have one? And does Charles have one?
Charles has one, Aeronaut does not.
Okay. It's definitely us. Like those of us who came through. This might be related to the time lock
Oh,
thing.
maybe. Yeah, fair enough.
Because
Could be.
yeah.
Sure.
Does that mean we have to bring Charles back through, or I was gonna leave him here so he didn't die to a Tarrasque?
I mean, you can just banish him on the plane once we get there.
Aren't you having hairball issues
At the-
right now?
I'm just looking at a crystal.
I will do some.
There's a little bit of black ichor on the top part of his chest.
I will do
It's
some
foggy.
investigation.
What is?
Don't bring. Ew. That's gross.
I don't know what it is.
Neither do I.
Hey! I'm trying to sleep.
You're good at
I'm,
detecting.
I'm up in my hammock. Hanging from the immovable rod.
I'll take a look at it in the morning, and I'll do some research on astral shenanigans in the morning too. I'm going back to bed. Don't play with it. Didn't you learn anything?
It came out of me.
This is the guy who flossed with his own astral tether.
Technically, you're not allowed to actually maneuver with it, but it was just too perfect, you know?
No, it could be a Who Framed Roger Rabbit thing. You can't? I can do it, but only when it's funny.
Cannon with a Vedic. And the long rest finishes with the rest of you waking up, / coming out of your stasis base state.
Oh, fine, give me the thing.
I cleaned it up with a can of Venice water.
I want.
As
I
soon
want
as you begin
to have
hitting with
woken
the
up to
water,
him like this.
it's an oil-based substance. So as soon as you hit it, like clumps of it, flump, 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 and it doesn't really come off, but it leaves that like layer of grease wherever it hits.
Prestidigitation, please.
Right.
Thank you.
Greased twirl back in.
Alright. Goggles, and we'll do an identifier.
Roll Arcana.
It is calcium. You should lower your calcium intake.
No, it's sodium.
Oh, that's
So it was a kidney stone.
Sparks.
Tossing my card, mate.
Add a
Hang on.
hairball.
This is fun.
Yeah. Some sort of crystal. Don't know.
Okay.
Looks
What
like
do I-
Louis.
Like I'm imagining your
Nice
faceplate
face.
doing the creaky sound that mimics
38.
a cat.
Jesus Christ!
The skill I have.
Okay.
No, your
You will
mind
not
there
get
was-
everything in terms of what this item is through the identification cells, because as you cast Identify through the various means you have, you can feel the resistance. As something fights back on whatever this thing is, does not want to be identified. Not completely, at least. But the initial
But you have a want to be identified, and thus I have learned something from you, you little shit.
And you
Everyone watching him just taunt the thing.
yes.
Is he okay?
This
normal.
is a
That
dark
is-
shard.
Taunted
A dark shard
the hairball.
of a soul. It is a. Sorry, let me rephrase
Soul
this.
shard?
Soul shard
Shoulder.
fragment.
Soul shard.
Dark.
Dark Soul Shard Fragment.
With the addition of the Arcana check, you know this would be. This is a byproduct of the various items infused with a forge that maintain the body and soul energy that dwells within inside them, and this substance that is connected to Raspin tar that corrupts the body and soul has been ejected from Sparks. This
I'm
raw
asleep, God damn
form
it.
of a dark shard of a soul.
I'm asleep.
Does that scan, does that mean anything to you?
Oh, wait, no, we've woken up.
Another round, another
You're
You're
awake now.
Oh, well,
You
wait.
wake up with Venegar and taunting this dark.
Coffee.
I've not seen anyone corrupted at the Raspberry Pi, but I'm assuming at some point we will.
God, it's hot.
Sorry. Not sorry.
It's connected to my
Peppermint milk.
You just flavor it.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Peppermint.
That's what prestidigitation is for.
Anyone want a crystal?
Yes. Yes.
It is the essence of the dark. It's a
I
crystal
want it. I want it.
Do you know?
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Seriously?
Did you swallow it?
I thought it was a sugar cube.
It was black and oily. No.
But it does improve the coffee.
Weirdly enough. It's an 18.
18? Okay. As you continue drinking, glug, 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 you notice that the crystal's gone.
Apparently this water's
So that's a
soluble.
nasty aftertaste to it.
I just refill the coffee flavor and keep going.
Okay.
I thought I was stupid.
What?
What the? No, I was thinking because you are transforming, continuing to transform, that your
Kicking things out.
battery
Okay.
thing is kicking things out because you're transforming
Quinn?
from.
Quinn?
No, don't ruin this for me.
You realize I spit that up, right?
Okay, but what I'm gonna ask, if that comes out, can I have it?
I'll keep an eye out for it.
I'll probably make more, so I'll give them to you if you want them.
Yes.
Okay.
Is this the part where my nanites start turning you into a warforge?
Are you the Borg?
We don't know. That's part of the problem.
Resistance is futile.
You will become perfection.
Don't tell him
He
that.
hasn't met the Church of the Perfecti yet.
He hasn't. We spent all one day in fucking Hartkern, and that wasn't even enough time for him to go shopping.
With that, is there anything else you would like to do before moving on?
Just travel halfway across the entirety of the mortal plane.
Pinch myself, make
Overnight.
sure I'm actually awake. This is like a fucking nightmare.
That's our life.
Do the gloves
How
apply
is this a nightmare? We had a nice place to sleep.
May I remind you that the 8 calamities that are currently threatening the mortal plane that
We got a
caused.
good night's sleep. This is the best it's been in ages.
Just to note, I would add 2 hours to your long rest because it's been a long time since you just took a day off.
You know, that's a good point. That is a very good point. That is valid.
I wake up in my hammock
I fill my cup. I'm enjoying my coffee. It's like, oh, it was just a nightmare. Oh, thank you. Look down.
You look down and you immediately see Arnad's face.
Oh, it was a good nap. Open the door. It's still dark out. I hate this fucking place.
With that, we are going to end tonight's session as you guys prepare to head where?
To the Hall of Memory.
Hall of Crystal Memory.
Hall of Memories, front door or back door?
Back
door.
Backdoor entrances.
Back
all
door.
Over there for the friends.
Back door with a greased turtle.
A grease turtle back door.
With that note, I wish you everyone farewell. I hope you enjoyed tonight's session
Did you come back for the next section?
of questionable actions, weird humor, and definitely not childish behavior.
It's okay. They come here for the mediocrity.
I love this group. Thank you all. Good day, salutations, and keep on rolling. Just stay healthy, stay safe, and keep on rolling, everyone.
There we go.
There it is. Bye.
Intro, outro.
Outro.